What's up everybody, Carson here with MindShape Heartset. Today I have a subject that I've been researching a little bit more deeply in regards to nutrition, and that molecule that is in so many foods that are actually considered health foods is oxalates. Also calcium oxalate and all the other oxalates that are associated with it. I will just refer to them as oxalates. So the problem with oxalates is that it's not really diagnosed oxalate poisoning in people until it's basically too late. The oxalates accumulate in the body and then they will only later show up bigger problems, usually problems that are related to getting older. Nowadays the narrative is that when you get older you get sick, but getting older doesn't mean you get sick. Getting sick doesn't mean you're getting older. You get older with the sicker you get, right? These problems are not really diagnosable until it's really a bigger problem. It's very much consumed in so many foods nowadays that are actually considered health foods, and probably with that amount of oxalates that you're consuming by eating these foods almost on a daily basis, they actually should be considered toxic, and there should be warnings on the labels of these foods because they can lead to kidney stones and some other problems that I will speak about later. Our body does not metabolize oxalates. It can only dump them. This is through the urine, sometimes through bowels. While you stick to a higher oxalate diet, you will not be dumping the oxalates adequately. Only when you stop oxalates, then your body starts dumping all the oxalates. This is called oxalate dumping. Then already, or again, many problems might appear through that detoxification process in your body. The plant foods that are supposedly considered healthy that are rich in it are spinach, almonds, potatoes, sweet potatoes, chard, chocolate. Chocolate is very high in oxalate. Pumpkins, strawberries, blackened raspberries, soy products, beans, seeds, beets. These are foods that are consumed in great quantities, especially by vegetarian people. These foods are really high in those and they accumulate in your body. Oxalates can bind to calcium, to iron, to magnesium, even to heavy metals, and they stay in your body in a chelated form, and they form what are called calcifications. Calcium oxalates accumulates in kidneys, in the joints, in bones, in blood vessels, even in the brain. Probably many of the calcifications that we know as the ones that supposedly come with cardiovascular disease, that people say it comes from cholesterol, but that is not truly so. Cholesterol is more kind of a bandage for that situation. Probably all of these problems come from oxalates as well. Kidney stones, joint pain issues, burning urine, painful bowel movement, leaky gut, autism, depression, skin issues and rashes, so that is eczema. Probably also acne might be connected to it. If it's connected to the gut, acne very often is. There are also problems in the gut, that's why you have painful bowel movement eventually. Thyroid issues, brain fog, eye pain, insomnia, anxiety, and depression. And if you already have a condition like that, all of these get worse with a higher consumption of oxalates. Fibromyalgia, interstitial cystitis, which is some kind of inflammation in the bladder. Vulvodynia, which is some kind of inflammation, from what I have understood, I did some research on it, of the women down here. It exacerbates also candida, arthritis, autism. Then digestive disorders, and this is then has a snowball effect, because these then exacerbate hyperoxaluria, which is you're discarding oxalates through the urine, and then it allows two more oxalate to be absorbed in your body. So it's a snowball effect. You absorb more, so you accumulate more, and the problems just become worse and worse. Large amounts of vitamin C. Now with this whole COVID pandemic, people probably took very high doses of vitamin C, and vitamin C, if you have too high of it, it can metabolize into oxalate, and then it connects to calcium oxalate, calcium to form a calcium oxalate or the iron, and accumulates in the body. So that's also not a good thing to do, to take higher amounts of vitamin C. Then another part is that it contributes to premature cell apoptosis. Cell apoptosis is basically a programmed death of a cell, and since oxalates can actually get into all your different tissues and blood vessels, what happens is that, you know, the oxalate getting into your cell, it makes the cell not work and perform optimally. Some suggestions on how to deal with it would be, for the loss of calcium that you get, probably also high iron foods for the iron that you lose. And most of these are, especially iron in the form of heme iron, it's much more bioavailable for us, and that is in animal products. So you should definitely also increase your animal products. And in animal products, there's a big spectrum. The best ones are grass-fed, obviously, and then ruminant animals, especially if not grass-fed, because they can transform polyunsaturated fatty acids into saturated fatty acids, which are better for your health than polyunsaturated fatty acids. I will call them PUFAs from now on. PUFAs are high in omega-6, and they will give you more inflammation. We should avoid poultry, duck, and pig, pork, bacon, because these are not ruminant animals. They cannot transform polyunsaturated fatty acids into saturated fatty acids. Cows do, sheep do, goat do. Citrus juice or citrates are good for it because they help in that dumping of the oxalates. What you can do if you insist in eating high oxalate foods, I did this with pumpkin the other day, you should definitely do that with spinach if you continue to eat it, is to cook it in water and then discard the water. Probiotics will still help you in moving that stuff around in your gut, especially because if it leads also to leaky gut, the probiotics, they will help to protect you from absorbing more oxalates and help you in the dumping of it. This has been a journey for me as well. I had kidney stones from the age of 18 and basically had at least one kidney crisis every year. It got worse when I went onto a vegan diet where I ate a lot of raw vegetables, and many of them high in oxalates. I also did smoothies with chard and with spinach. I had a lot of plants to eat, and plants are higher in oxalates because it is a protection, a safety system, or a way that the plants also create to protect themselves from herbivores, plant eaters. Plants use the oxalates as a means to capture calcium, so it is a calcium magnet, and that calcium, if the calcium connects in your body to oxalates and forms calcium oxalate, your body cannot use it. This is unusable calcium. It is not bioavailable. It will just accumulate and create crystals in your kidneys, in your joints, in your blood vessels, and form these calcium oxalate molecules. 80% of kidney stones are from calcium oxalate. So the whole population of this planet is eating more and more vegetables. This agenda is being pushed of less meat in more plants, and soy products are really high in it. Impossible burgers and veggie burgers now have beetroot, have soy products, have beans in it, and so on and so forth. Obviously, you need higher amounts of protein, especially on a vegetarian or vegan diet. The only way of getting that is from plants and from seeds that are high in oxalates, soybeans, and so on and so forth. Plants also need the oxalates around their seeds because this will bring calcium to the seeds when the seeds want to germinate. And so raspberries, unfortunately, and strawberries, especially strawberries that are, since the oxalates serve as a protection for the plants also against molds, they have a lot more mold pressure on them because the strawberries sit on the soil. And so from my understanding, the plants react by creating more oxalates in the seeds so that the seeds have a higher protection. And so unfortunately, and I love them, strawberries, also chocolate. I used to love chocolate. Now I understand that it was more of a unilateral relationship, are high in oxalates, and we should definitely avoid them. There are lots of fruits that are low in oxalates. These are actually the fruits that want to be eaten by us, and we are not animals that can actually digest these seeds, especially if they're chewed on. We should avoid that. I cleared those issues by increasing also my magnesium intake by going on a low oxalate diet. I'm basically on a carnivore diet with fruits and honey. I haven't had kidney stones in 5 years. One of the worst times that I had kidney stone crisis for 5 days. And I actually at that time was a little bit dogmatic in regards to not taking anything, and so I just withstood it for 5 days until it finally cleared up. Oxalates are something that is all around and nobody benefits from it. Again, I want to say spinach is not healthy, chocolate is not healthy, beans are not healthy, soy products are not healthy, beets are not healthy. These products, almonds, almond milk, everybody is drinking almond milk now because we want to avoid the milk and the actually absorbable calcium from milk whenever you take it, or dairy products. Everybody's trying to avoid it, and they're making this funky and weird peanut butters and almond butters. This stuff is not healthy for us. Maybe it might be very tasty, but it comes with an later aftertaste of not such good health and condition and mental abilities and so on. And so this is a little bit about oxalates. I really wanted to bring that out there. It has been a problem for me. I solved it for myself. Nutrition is a very complex subject, and there are all these little subtleties that we need to have in consideration. If I can help you with that, I do coaching and I do mentoring for vitality and longevity in a holistic way. If you need anything, get in touch with me and we can talk about your situation in specific, and I can coach you into a more healthy lifestyle and more vitality and happiness and just perform well in your life, have good libido, and be happy. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and check out my bio. There's a link tree where I have a lot of information that you might be interested in, and have a beautiful day. Take care.